When you open your morning newspaper, I'm sure many of you watching this have never touched a physical newspaper, but theoretically, would the stock market report be the first to catch your eye? Have you tried cocaine? Have you ever participated in money laundering? If so, I sure have a movie you'll love, or at least you'll probably relate to the one and only Jordan Belfort, the main character of The Wolf of Wall Street. The 2013 film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, and Margot Robbie follows the life of Jordan Belfort, played by Leo of course, as he climbs the corporate ladder in a brokerage firm. This movie follows the real-life story of the rise and fall of Stratton Oakmont, founded by Belfort. However, the main focus follows the debauchery and absurdity of these men's lives. The film cuts straight to the point. Not long after the opening scene, Belfort finds himself rolling in money. Belfort begins the movie as a middle-class working man who wants to pursue the American dream. As he raises in the ranks of the stockbroker firm, we start to see Belfort losing interest in his wife and losing the morals he began with. Money becomes his every waking breath. Let's take a look at the advice given to him his first day as a broker.
Absolutely. Fuck the clients. Your only responsibility is to put meat on the table. You got a girlfriend?
I'm married. I have a wife. Her name's Teresa. She cuts hair.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Think about Teresa. Name of the game, move the money from your client's pocket into your pocket.
Right, but if you can make a client's money at the same time, it's advantageous to everyone, correct?
No.
After this scene, we watch Belfort adapt these values into his life, leading him to open his own brokerage firm and persuading all his brokers to make as much money as they can for themselves, unencumbered by how their actions affect the middle-class people who are funding them. Belfort truly believes he deserves the money he is making. Let's get a quote, shall we?
You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Crazy? This is obscene.
It was obscene. In the normal world. I mean, who the fuck wanted to live there?
Not only does Belfort believe he deserves others' money, he is confident that he is better because of it, and the world, unfortunately, agrees. An example of this is Belfort's horrendous behavior on his flight to Switzerland, but because of his material status and his connections to other rich people, he gets out of the situation completely free of charge. As the people around Belfort become increasingly more immoral and classist, so too does he. Belfort's firm becomes an ever-growing cycle of the rich who want to become more rich by any means necessary. This money-crazed environment created by Belfort and his friends is, you guessed it, filled with lots of drugs, sex, and overconsumption of just about anything you'd find at a frat party. The Stratton Oakmont Corporation is shown as mostly male-filled room, with degradation being the common form of connection. Belfort and his close friends in particular find joy in degrading each other through homophobic comments and insults. The only queer character featured in the film is the gay butler, who, unfortunately, gets beaten up. All other characters are straight and appeal to the traditional heteronormative rules of society. The most prevalent theme throughout the 3-hour movie is the heavy presence of the male gaze, both leaning into and making fun of it. From the beginning of the movie, the world is shown through Belfort's eyes, showing women as objects to be admired, but not respected. There is little regard for the actual feelings of women throughout the film. However, this viewpoint is flipped on its head when Belfort has a conversation with Aunt Emma, his second wife's aunt. This conversation shows both Belfort and Emma's perspective. Belfort thinks that Aunt Emma is flirting with him and tries to kiss her. Emma is clearly not interested and relays that to the viewer. The film sets itself up to follow Belfort's way of looking at the world. Belfort's character constantly breaks the fourth wall, talking to the audience almost like a salesman trying to pitch his life. Yet, the film also playfully makes fun of his lifestyle and over-the-top personality, especially as it comes crashing down around him. The film focuses on sex, drugs, and money, and the cinematography supports this, zooming in on drugs, moving sporadically in party scenes to show the chaos of it all. The cinematography also pushes the male gaze, often framing nude women not as whole people, but as body parts, torsos, or with their head just out of frame. The overall mise-en-scene creates a fast-paced world for the audience, with vibrant colors and dynamic framing to create the absurd capitalist dream that is Belfort's life. Overall, this movie is from the perspective of a rich, white male enamored with the throes of American capitalism and overconsumption. Though the movie does a good job of making fun of itself, it does not leave the viewer with an equitable representation.